Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very short episode. Ho, that's right. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this short update. Three Chord Double Oaked R Bourbon Selection. Hold on to your panties and boxers, ladies and gentlemen. What could this be? An MGP product on Bourbon Bill? So, if you're new to this channel, we don't exactly love MGP on this channel. I know that seems odd and, oh, how could you, you know? And let me be clear. I like well-aged, higher proof MGP. So I like the Remus Gatsby Reserve, 15-year MGP. I like Remus 5, 13 to 16-year-old MGP at 100 proof. I like some of the Widow Jane series, 10-year, 13-year, which has MGP in it. But I've been pretty critical of Smoke Wagon, Old Scout, General, the price of Nulu bottles. So I'm not a fan of like that 5 to 6-ish year MGP for like $70 to $100. I think you can kiss my ass for 5 or 6 year MGP at that price. So I no longer buy Smoke Wagon uncut unfiltered, because why? If I want a 6-year MGP, well, A, I don't. But B, if I did, I'm not going to pay those prices for it. So, I got my old email one day here not that long ago and said, you've been selected, because I mistakenly picked it. I don't know what I was doing. For a 7-year double oaked MGP. And normally I would have deleted the email, but I thought to myself, well, hell, it's only $59.99? That's right. For 60 doll hairs, I have in my hand a double oaked 7-year MGP. So let that sink in. All of you are probably going over your receipts, looking at your bank accounts, going, oh my God, I paid $90 for Nulu double oaked. And you feel like a sucker. And you are. But here, all jokes aside, this is probably the best value for that year range MGP. For $59.99, Three Chord is putting out distilled in Indiana MGP 6-ish to 7-year-old MGP bourbon. This one happens to be double oaked, but their pricing, folks, is fantastic. So instead of that $70 to $100 that you're paying for Smoke Wagon, Nulu, Good Times, all other crap that's putting out 5 to 6-year-old MGP for in that price range, what you have here is a 60 doll hair bottle that is 7 years old, a little bit older, and only 60 doll hairs. I couldn't pass it up. And I love a good double oak product, but a lot of these, like, how long do they double oak them? Because sometimes they're just a little light in color. Now, Three Chord here, we only have a sticker that says double oaked. If it wasn't for if this sticker fell off, we wouldn't even know that this bottle's double oaked. So that's a little, not sure how I feel about that. This is obviously a single barrel selected by our bourbon. It says bottle 22 of 192. So kind of a short barrel for a 7-year. Like what'd they do with that? They open it and drink half of it? 120.52 proof, compute 60.26% alcohol by volume. So she's a hot one at 120 and a half. This one is 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley. Well, there you go. Now on the back here it says that We are first and foremost blenders, so they don't distill shit at 3 Chord, just in case you didn't know. However, on occasion we find a barrel that is so compelling, so utterly unique and delicious, that we insist on letting the barrel go solo. This is one such barrel. Well, but then they double oaked it. Alright, whatever. Let's just get into it. This is not meant to be a long review. I had to get over my rant, though, of I dislike the value proposition on those 5 to 6 year MGPs that most companies are putting out. You are getting screwed as a consumer by most of them. Are they good to my palate? Sure, they're fine. They're sweet. They're missing the oak. I like oak. If you don't like oak, then that's probably your jam. But if you're similar to my palate, those are not your jam. You're getting ripped off. But this one here was a bargain, so I thought, let's give it a go. Color's medium. She's not super dark. For a double oak, I like midnight black for my double oaks, to be honest. But for 60 doll hairs, we can't complain. Let's give it a nosing. Quite good on the nose here. I get a good pronounced oak note. Other than that, it's the traditional caramel, brown sugar, lighter MGP, 7-year profile. Sweet and delicious. So it's all sweet, brown sugar, baking spices, caramel, and that little bit of extra oak in there. It's not well seasoned oak. It's just oak. Let's take a sip. Yeah, that's damn good. For $60, whoo. Hit you first with the sweet baking spices, brown sugar, caramel, vanilla, just your traditional rare flavors, and then bam, it's a beautiful layer of sweet oak. It's not well aged oak, but it's not the Home Depot lumberyard youthful wood. It is a nice medium. Whoa, just spilled half that. It's a nice medium oak. So let's take our second sip here. That's delicious. That is delicious. The double oaking here is what makes this good. If this was not double oaked, it would be. I wouldn't buy one. But rating tonight is an A from Bourbon Bill. On this specific our bourbon pick of 3 Chord double oaked 7-year MGP at 120.5 proof for 60 doll hairs. So if you see this out, if you see a 3 Chord double oaked out there for $60-ish, around 6-7 years old, buy it, because it's probably gonna be pretty good. If you see a Nulu double oaked that's 5-6 years old and they're charging $90, pass it on by, because you now are an educated consumer and you know the same juice can be gotten in the 60 doll hair range. So if you like what we saw tonight, please like, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button, everybody. Have a good evening.